clouds. Dark clouds are gathering as markets shudder. Stocks are sinking. Currencies are stumbling. Fear and uncertainty is reigning. And the Middle East and in the Ukraine and Taiwan, the debt is endless. Yet one asset stands firm: gold. It is a biblical currency. In crisis after crisis, gold is there, in the background, always there. Its enduring value guards against loss, like a missile shield against incoming. While paper wealth burns, gold persists. Shield your savings against the looming threats of war, recession, contagion, and avoid the frenzy panic of the unprepared. Take control in the chaos. Your fortune favors decisive action. Get a hold of gold now before it's out of reach. Go right now to noblegoldinvestment.com or just simply go to the link below, www.pastorpaulgold.com. That's www.pastorpaulgold.com, or call them at 877-646-5347. You'll be glad you did.
During an exclusive interview with ABC News World News Tonight anchor David Muir, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu once again dismissed the notion of a ceasefire in Gaza unless hostages are released. He also addressed the future of Gaza post-war. President Joe Biden and senior administration officials have been urging Israel to consider temporary, quote, humanitarian pauses in the conflict, allowing for increased aid delivery to Gaza and enabling more civilians to escape the violence in the Palestinian territory. According to the White House, Biden and Netanyahu discussed this matter as recently as Monday, but it appears that no clear agreement was reached, ABC News reported. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby remarked that the administration views the parties as being at the, quote, beginning of this conversation. Quote, what they're proposing is a humanitarian pause. There will be no pause, Muir pressed Netanyahu shortly after he had spoken with Biden. Quote, well, there'll be no ceasefire, general ceasefire in Gaza, without the release of our hostages, Netanyahu responded. The month-long conflict in Gaza has resulted in over 10,000 casualties, as reported by the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry. Among these casualties are 4,104 children. In Israel, the conflict has claimed the lives of more than 1,400 people, with 6,900 individuals sustaining injuries, according to the Prime Minister's office. On Monday, the mayor of Nashville, Tennessee, requested an inquiry following the circulation of images that are purported to be the writings of the individual responsible for the tragic shooting at the Covenant School in March, where 6 people lost their lives. These 3 images of writings were made public on Monday by a conservative podcast and YouTube show host, with claims that they belong to the shooter. Audrey Hale, aged 28, was fatally shot by law enforcement after opening fire on March 27th at the private Christian school, a place she had previously attended. The assailants' actions resulted in the tragic deaths of 3 children and 3 adults, NBC News reported. Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell said he directed Metro Nashville Law Director Wally Dietz to, quote, initiate an investigation into how these images could have been released. Quote, I am deeply concerned with the safety, security, and well-being of the Covenant families and all Nashvillians who are grieving, O'Connell said in a statement. Podcast host Steven Crowder uploaded the images online on Monday. The content within these images appears to contain language discussing the planning of a school shooting and a specific date. Alina Habba, the attorney for the former President Donald Trump, criticized New York Attorney General Letitia James on Monday, asserting that she lacks intelligence. Letitia James is currently spearheading the ongoing civil trial against Trump, accusing him and his adult sons, Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump, of engaging in years of business fraud by manipulating the valuation of their company's assets. Haba expressed her opinion in a Newsmax interview on Monday, stating that James does not have a strong case. It's worth noting that Judge Arthur Engron has already ruled that fraud took place, and the ongoing trial is primarily focused on determining the extent of damages incurred. The Hill reported, quote, "She's just not that bright. I'm sorry I have to say it," Haba said. Quote, "I've seen their case. I've seen their lawyers. They don't know what they're talking about." She contended that the actions deemed as fraud by the judge are, in fact, common practices within the industry. Quote, "Just because a bank, who's giving you a loan, says it's worth what the loan amount is, which is what happens when anybody takes out a loan, they're never going to say the real value," she continued. "They're going to say what they want to say and not a penny more, or what the loan amount is and not a penny more." Quote, "She needs to educate herself. Maybe go to some, I don't know how to express how ridiculous this is," Haba said. Quote, "It's like being in a circus with a bunch of, what I want to say I can't say on TV, but it's crazy. It's just ridiculous. Anybody with a brain understands this is just completely insane." On Monday, Trump testified during the trial and engaged in multiple confrontations with Judge Engron, whom he has consistently alleged of pursuing political motives in targeting him.